Hey, WheezyNewser. In this video, China and I will talk about our adventures in quitting coffee, alcohol, and smartphones at home at length. And also, in the middle, right after we talk about coffee, the first thing we talk about, there's going to be a little 5-minute break in which I do another Hood Internet listening challenge. Hood Internet, they're a record production duo specializing in mashups, and you can check out all their info below. More explanation about that later. In the middle, right after the coffee talk, into the alcohol talk. Just so you know. And that's it. You got it? Great. This is going to be good. This is going to be really good, you guys. WheezyNews! Jang, jing, badonka-donk, boom. How are you on this fine Tuesday?
I'm really tired.
Great.
Mm-hmm. How are you?
I feel pretty good.
Yeah, you got a good sleep last night.
Uncharacteristically good night's sleep.
Yes, you did.
It's getting better. I think my sleep is getting better lately. There have been several days where I had more than 7 hours of sleep.
Wow.
But then a couple days there where I had horrible sleep.
Like really, really bad, and that was not that long ago.
But that's normal.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't go as far as to say it's getting better. Like, it has been better maybe for a couple of days. But I don't know
for a week.
No,
for a week or at least.
For a week?
Yeah.
Go back in your thing.
Here, let me show you. Let me show you my sleep thing.
I want to see your sleep thing.
This is very...
Because it feels like it was just like 3 or 4 days ago when you had like 4 hours of sleep.
Okay, so last Thursday and Friday.
Okay, what's the Saturday and Sunday thing?
That's the terrible days.
Yeah, so that was like...
Yeah, but there were more days,
ago.
But I can't go back. How do I go back?
Yeah, but you said for like a week, but Saturday and Sunday were really bad.
Yeah, but... yeah, but if I can go back further, I can't. How do I go back further? I don't know how to use this app. There were more days earlier, too, that were good. Yes, there were a couple days there that were terrible. So here's the deal, guys. Last Thursday, I got amazing sleep. 7 hours and 40 minutes.
Now,
last Friday,
hang on, I have a clarifying question. Is this, so Thursday, is that like you went to bed on Thursday night, or is that like when you woke up Thursday morning, that was your Thursday sleep? How does it do it?
Thursday was Thursday morning. And I got good sleep. Friday, though, I think I had a nap. And that's why I got good sleep. Did I? No nap. Yet 2 sleep sessions. That's why I got good sleep. But earlier, I was having several days of really good sleep. Okay. And then Saturday was terrible. And then Sunday was terrible. But yesterday was fantastic. Maybe I'm in a cycle where I get really terrible sleep a few days. And then I get really good sleep to make up for it. Or average sleep for most people. Anyway, I think it's better. I think it's getting better.
Okay.
It's still bad, but it's like better, bad. Better, bad.
Better, bad.
Yeah.
So, but like, is this my thing is just that like 2 and 3 nights ago, you had extremely terrible sleep and really bad days those days because you felt like crap. Mm-hmm. And that is incredibly recent and doesn't make me think like, oh, it's getting better. You had 2 nights of horrible sleep 2 and 3 days ago.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say it's getting better because this happens to you all the time. You'll have like some nights of good sleep or like some weeks where you're mostly sleeping good and then it all goes to shit.
I gotta bleep out your swear word. Okay.
You have eyelashes.
I wasn't planning on doing any editing.
Okay, sorry. You still don't have to.
You're right. Actually, I decided I wasn't gonna bleep out swear words on this channel, didn't I?
Yeah. Hang on.
Okay.
I'm saving your life here.
Okay.
Oh, jeez.
So
people
have heard swear words before.
Yeah. I'll try not to say anymore.
But the 7.5 hours of sleep that I got last night and the 7.5 on Friday, 7.5 on Thursday. 7.5 is hard to attain for me, and I'm getting it more often. That's my point.
Yes, okay.
I don't know why it has to be a controversial point, but
it's not controversial. I just don't agree with your like assessment of the data.
Okay. All right.
So anyway.
Sorry you guys had to see that. Anyway, we're on day 52 of no coffee.
Yes. I have recently begun, probably like twice a week, having a mini Coca-Cola. So I'm not doing like no caffeine, but I did the full month because I thought that was like the required part. And then after that, I wanted to occasionally have a mini Coca-Cola. So, and it's got like 21 grams of caffeine. So even less than like a cup of green tea.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
That's not that much.
So it's really not that much. Like if you had 3 cups of decaf coffee and each cup had 7 grams of caffeine or 7 milligrams of caffeine in it, then that would be a mini Coke worth of caffeine.
Yes, and I have been having 2 or 3 cups of decaf coffee every day, but the decaf we're using allegedly has very little caffeine.
But we had used other kinds of decaf coffee earlier in the experiment, and before we even officially started it, that might have had those higher levels. Yes,
but now we're using the one, it has a water filtration process that is much less than the standard, well, it is much less than the standard percentage-wise, even though we're talking about a minimal amount regardless.
Right.
The standard decaf can have like 2 to 7 milligrams, and this has like less than 1 maybe milligram, I think. It was like 99% of the caffeine is eliminated from this process. But so I'm not getting that much caffeine, and I'm still that's still the only caffeine. Well, I'll have chocolate sometimes, which has caffeine.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm still going, and I
see no reason to, like, I am not tempted at all to reincorporate like regular caffeinated coffee back into my life. I'm perfectly happy drinking the decaf forever. I like the taste of Coca-Cola, and I occasionally want to have a small one. And I'm really glad that they make the miniature ones now, because I do not like a lot of soda.
Yeah.
Like a large quantity of it at once. But it's like just enough. Just enough.
Would you notice any changes? Like, are you glad you're not drinking full coffee?
No, I don't really notice any changes.
Yeah. You were at like 1 cup a day.
Yeah, sometimes not even a cup. Sometimes like I would only drink like half of it.
So why not go back? Because I'm not going back?
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't think that it really, like, I don't feel worse off having less caffeine now that, like, I've adjusted to it and everything. And just from, like, a planning perspective, it would be really annoying to have both regular and decaf coffee.
Yeah.
Like, we use the same coffee grinder, having to switch beans and stuff would just be really annoying. I see no benefit to having that sort of, like, administrative struggle in my day-to-day life.
Yeah. So, but when you first quit, was there any initial issues?
Oh, yeah, it was,
you had a headache, right?
I don't know if I was getting, I might have been getting headaches, but I've been getting a lot of headaches anyway. But I was, like, getting tired in the afternoons and, like, kind of starting to fall asleep on the couch again in the afternoons. But that kind of dissipated. And then I was noticing that I got tired in the evening. Like, I was getting more tired in the evening and ready to go to bed earlier. And I think sleeping more deeply, or, like, less disruptively.
Sure.
Whatever. So...
Disruptibly, I think is how you say
disruptibly,
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not a great big change or a big challenge for you.
No, and also I was adjusting some medications at the same time. So that might have also been affecting how tired I was at various points of the day. So it might not have been the caffeine at all. It might have been a combination of a lot of factors. Who freaking knows? But I see no reason to go back to drinking like regular caffeinated coffee at this point.
Yeah. I did have a little hardship. The first month, it was off and on. Like, first week, obviously, it was a struggle. And then I never really got terrible headaches, but I don't usually get terrible headaches anyway, ever. I'm kind of blessed in that way.
Yeah, no kidding.
But then, like, everything I read says, like, oh, geez, got a ding. I'm going to turn the sound off on here. Sorry about that. I'm sure you're offended. I can't turn the sound off because I went to screensaver and there's a password to type in. I'm going to type in the password and I'm going to turn the sound off. Okay, good.
Okay.
So everything I read says like 2 weeks maybe is like your cutoff, or 12 days or something is when like the side effects go away. But I think they're mostly talking about just physical side effects of withdrawal.
Yeah, like headache, extreme fatigue.
Yeah, when I was having coffee every day and then I'd stop, I would get like my muscles would be heavy and like just like, oh, I can't do things. Oh.
And then you'd punch me in the knee.
And then I punch you in the knee just now.
Yeah, that was the worst side effect of withdrawal for me.
A lot of knee punching.
When you punched me in the knee.
Yeah. Anyway, but I still felt fatigue and lack of motivation throughout the month, off and on. And then. And then, do you need a bucket or something?
Do you think that is improving? Because I haven't really talked to you about it. Like, there was at one time a couple of weeks ago, you were considering going back to drinking coffee because you were like, you're just not able to be as productive and like really struggling to get the things done that you needed to get done. Yeah. And you weren't like really, really tired or anything. It was just like dealing with this lack of motivation.
And I was really considering, like, if I have a lot of videos to work on and I want to be productive and I want to get things done in an efficient way, and I felt like I was lacking focus, and but then I said to myself, well, I have to get to 3 months, because that was the initial idea I had, was I wanted to do 3 months at least. So we're at day 52 now, and it's better. Okay. It is better. The past couple weeks I've noticed noticed that I haven't noticed being like really tired and struggling. I don't think I'll ever get to the high you get with coffee where you're like, I can do everything. Unless I go back and do it like once in a while, it'll be even more effective because I'm not addicted to it anymore.
Right.
But right now, it feels okay. It's starting to feel normal. I'm starting to feel normal, and it's also forcing me to prioritize sleep more, because I think I just notice feeling worse when I don't get good sleep.
Right.
Because I can't counteract it with the coffee. So now I'm just like, okay, it's time to go to bed. I'm going to go to bed, and I'm going to make sure I stay in bed. And if I wake up in the middle of the night, I will take a lot of action to try to calm myself down and get back to sleep. And it seems to be working. Like today, for instance, 7.5 hours of sleep, I feel fantastic. Yeah. Without if I was on coffee, I still wouldn't feel fantastic with 7.5 hours of sleep. I would need the coffee.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
And now I don't.
That's a good point.
And I often just don't think about it. I'm in the drinking decaf. Unlike alcohol, which we'll get to, drinking decaf is a good replacement for drinking regular coffee.
Oh, it's a perfect replacement. Yeah, especially drinking the kind of decaf that we've been drinking, where it's got very, very, very little caffeine. So I feel like we've been able to not really draw out the caffeine withdrawals, like, because we've cut it down to such a bare minimum. What am I saying?
we've cut it down to such a bare minimum.
I'm going to be really honest. My brain is not at peak efficiency right now. So
yeah.
I'm strugs to funk
okay.
at the moment.
Do you want to say why?
Yeah, sure. I had surgery last week, and I have been just recovering from that, but also having some throat issues and unable to eat very much food until like today, essentially, a little bit yesterday. So I think I'm just kind of really worn down, and I'm very tired. I'm just so tired.
I don't think it has anything to do with the things we are talking about today.
No.
No. But basically, coffee, like you get the flavor of coffee almost exactly. It's not quite the same, but it's almost the same as regular coffee, and it just I'm drinking 2, sometimes 3 a day, and it feels the same to me.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely is. Like last time we quit coffee when we were doing no caffeine whatsoever, we couldn't even have decaf. And like in the morning, I still wanted to have that routine of a hot beverage or whatever. But I'm a tea person, but like tea feels like a nighttime thing to me. That's like a relaxing thing, not like a wake up thing for me. And so having a cup of tea in the morning did not satisfy that like sort of routine urge. But having a cup of decaf, everything about the process feels exactly identical. It tastes the same. Like,
I love
perfect.
the flavor. I drink it black, and I also love the flavor of whiskey. Let's switch to alcohol now, because I feel like we're done with coffee. I'm starting to feel normal, and I feel like this could just last forever.
Sure.
Okay, here's that break I was talking about before. Okay, let's do it. All right, listen up. I'm about to do a great challenge. I've done this a few times before. I have this friend. His name is Steve Rydell. I like to call him Steve Sleeve. And he has a project called The Hood Internet, where they do mashups of popular songs. They've been around for a while. They're veterans. And they've been doing a project where they've been going through every year since I can't remember which year they started, and taking popular songs from that year and mashing them up into one big music video. And I'm going to listen to the year 2004 and see how many songs and artists I can guess. Think I was better at the 90s, my formative years, and this is probably going to be very embarrassing what I don't know. But let's do it anyway. All right, let's do this. I'm nervous. I don't know why I'm nervous. Okay, hitting play now. Okay. Didn't know a lot this year. 50 Cent. Billy Joe. Green Day. Usher. We got Gwen Stefani. That girl. Oh, that's Franz Ferdinand, right? Franz Ferdinand, not the Killers, right? I get those two confused. Gwen Stefani, Ain't No Holler Back Girl. That's is Beyonce in there? Snoop Dogg. Was that Skater Boy, See You Later Boy? What's her name? Forgot her name. Bad with names. Was that? It looked like Bill Hader from SNL playing keyboard, but I don't know who that was. I don't know who this is. I'm really failing here, you guys. Modest Mouse. Modest Mouse, that's more in my wheelhouse.
Here's the thing, we started
Kelly Clarkson.
friends. It was cool, but it was all pretend. Yeah, yeah.
Good mashup.
It all falls down.
Soldier. That's the Killers.
It took the time. Wasn't long till I called you mine. Yeah, yeah. Since you've been gone.
I'm doing terrible, but I really enjoy this mashup. Do 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 do. Oh, is that Block Party? Was Block Party in there? I don't know what this is. Wow, I think I did terrible, but I enjoyed it. And now, onward to alcohol. Alcohol, I love the flavor of whiskey. I love the flavor of good beer and wine. And non-alcoholic beer gets kind of close to regular beer.
Non-alcoholic beer gets pretty much all the way there for me because of the kinds of beers that I would normally drink anyway.
Yeah.
I liked more of like a light pilsnery, lagery,
Yeah.
or like a very light IPA sort of flavor. And we've found multiple that like really scratch that itch.
Yeah. So like so non-alcoholic beer is pretty good. There's nothing compares to whiskey, non-alcoholic whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
And there is no non-alcoholic whiskey that I've tried that comes even close. I think the alcohol is crucial to the flavor.
Mm-hmm.
And
Same thing with wine.
yeah.
Yeah.
And some people make the argument that it's not really the flavor you like, it's the psychological effect of alcohol that makes you think it tastes good. Maybe, but I don't know. I think it just tastes good. So it's a flavor that I miss still.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't miss it that much. It's not something that I am longing for. I don't think about it. I just don't think about it. We're at 5.5 months of no alcohol now.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you feel?
I feel great. I don't think about it the vast majority of the time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really miss it the vast majority of the time. Every once in a while, I'll think like, I mostly want like occasional glasses of wine. That's really the only thing that I'm ever like missing.
Mm-hmm.
I never miss drinking beer. I hadn't really in recent years been much of a beer drinker anyway. And like I said, like the NA beers that we found that are really good thoroughly scratch that itch. I have no need to drink it like an actual alcoholic beer ever again, as far as I'm concerned.
Mm-hmm.
But there's not really, we found like wine-esque substitutes that are good, that they like taste good and are enjoyable to drink, but they don't taste like a glass of like nice Tempranillo or something. And every once in a while I would really like a glass of red wine.
Yeah.
But otherwise, like the vast majority of the time I'm not thinking about it or wishing I could have it or.
Yeah, I think the thing I really wanted to stop doing when we quit alcohol was just drinking alcohol at home by myself. Sometimes I would just have whiskey by myself to relax, or like after you've gone to bed and I'm watching something, I'll just have something. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing I truly just don't want to do, because that's silly. It just seems pointless.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, go ahead.
And now I don't think about that at all. I don't miss that. There's no temptation there at all when I'm by myself. I'm just going to bed earlier too, because I would stay up because I was drinking. But the only time that I'm tempted pretty much is when we're out at a restaurant or with,
which is extremely rare these days still. But one thing that we've noticed too is that, like, when we very first started this challenge, we were kind of exploring a lot of like sort of replacements, like proxy wines and NA beers and sort of like non-alcoholic liqueur type things, and experimenting a lot. And there was a period where we were especially drinking a lot of NA beers, and that's kind of tapered off quite a bit. Like a lot of times we don't even have NA beer in the house anymore. We will go days or weeks without like getting one, wanting one, or going to buy some, which I think is interesting. Like the further in we've got, like the urge to drink anything else. Yeah, it has just kind of abated. Yeah, and the like I used to still in the evenings, like after our kid had gone to bed, we were like going to sit down and watch something on TV or whatever. I would still kind of want like something special, something different, or like with dinner, something that's not just water. And I don't even really get that urge anymore, which I think is kind of interesting. Like how in between like 4 months and 5.5 months, those urges kind of finally went away.
Same for me. I don't really get that urge. I am practicing with a rock band. A friend of mine's band. I'm playing guitar for them for a show coming up at in their town. I got some Heineken NA, just because they were having drinks while we were practicing, and I used to always have beer while we practiced with the band, and so I got some of that, and I had a couple, and I was like, I think in the past I probably would have had more than 2, like throughout the several hours of practice we were doing. Yeah. But with non-alcoholic, I had 2, and I was like, should I have a third? I'm like, it's just gonna make me feel full. Yeah. It's just gonna make me feel like I have too much liquid in me, which is weird. When you have alcohol, I guess it does cause you. It's a diuretic, so you pee more. But you still are full of liquid when you're drinking it, but you don't feel it because alcohol like numbs the feeling of feeling full. So, but when you go non-alcoholic, you end up drinking less. You end up eating less. I end up eating less because I feel full sooner. And so, lately my eating habits are like I just generally, and caffeine's the same way. Coffee's the same way. You don't. Coffee suppresses appetite. Caffeine suppresses appetite, but then when it goes away, when you crash, you get really hungry, and so then you binge eat, or you feel starving, and then also when alcohol numbs the feeling of feeling full, so you're likely to eat more. And now both are gone, I'm just like never hungry. I'm never feeling like extremely hungry. Sometimes I feel kind of hungry. I should probably eat, but like never like, oh, I need food now. Right. And I have just not been paying attention to what I haven't been paying. I should probably pay more attention to what I'm eating lately, but I haven't been paying that much attention, and I haven't gained any weight. I haven't. Some days I'll feel like, oh, I ate way too much, and then I'll weigh myself the next day, and it's the same. It's just because I feel the fullness more, which is interesting. Yeah. And so, like, going forward, I envision when this is over, when we're done with the year of no alcohol, I might try some alcohol again. I'm thinking that I'll still maybe occasionally, when we're at a restaurant, have some, or at a certain function or party or celebration or something. But I don't think I'll ever go back to the way it was before.
Yeah, I really hope that we don't go back to how it was before.
If it starts to, then I would want to do this again.
Yeah, I like this way better. Yeah. Well, and we had kind of talked about, like, at the end of the year, sort of, like, eliminating all the rules and just seeing what happens.
I thought the sound was supposed to be off on my computer. I guess not for alerts. I gotta change some stuff on my computer before we do these. Okay, anyway.
We had talked about how, like, at the end of the year, eliminating all of the rules and restrictions and just kind of seeing what happens for a month. Mm-hmm. And then kind of reevaluating at the end of that and deciding whether, like, what we want to do next, if we want to continue the actual challenge of, like, entirely eliminating it and having that, like, black and white restriction or what.
Yeah, we'll try a month.
Yeah.
And see, like, if we see what happens.
Yeah. But even in that month, I think that both of us would probably agree, like, I don't want to, like, bring alcohol home. Like, I don't want to buy, like, restock the bar or anything.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that's because the convenience of it would just make me be like, well, yeah, I'm bored. Yeah. I'm going to have some whiskey.
Or I bought this bottle of wine and it's open, and if we don't drink it, it'll go bad. So might as well have a glass, you know. Yeah. That's how you get to the slippery slope.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's going well. And now another thing we're doing.
Yeah.
We're on day 12 of no smartphone at home.
We're so busy with things that we're doing.
Yeah.
Just doing all these things.
Yeah. And I think all of these things are compounding and making my sleep better, even though you don't seem to think my sleep's getting better. I think it's getting better.
I think that some days your sleep is better and some days your sleep is worse.
I don't think it's worse.
Well, no, but I mean, like, on the spectrum of good to bad. Not worse than it had been, but, like...
Yeah. That's what I mean. Some days it's better than it was before.
Okay.
It's a net improvement.
That is the thing that I'm disagreeing with.
Okay. All right.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Day 12. No smartphone at home.
Yes.
How's it going?
Great. I thought maybe it would lead to me using... So our rules are, like, basically we can't use things that would draw us in to our phones a lot. Yeah,
that's the main goal. Like, the ideal is just really not using our phones for much other than, like, sort of the essential functions.
Yeah, maps.
Maps, text, phone calls.
Home security. Car stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. But, like, the real goal is just, like, don't be scrolling.
Don't be scrolling.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it has, for me, I thought it would lead to me just scrolling more on my computer instead. I still scroll on my computer probably more than I want to, but it was the same as it was before. Mm-hmm. So it hasn't led to more for me. It has led to much less, spending much less time on my phone. I don't have Twitter on there. I don't Google things randomly if I come up with an idea, or like sometimes I would have done waking up in the middle of the night. A thought occurs to me like, why do I keep waking up? And a thought will occur to me, is it because of this? And I'll Google it. I've done that in the middle of the night before. Mm-hmm. I don't go to my phone at all at night. And
that's good.
Yeah. Which has totally led to net better sleep. Anyway.
I've been struggling with this challenge a little bit because I had surgery last week, and I had been doing really, really good up until that point of, like, hardly using my phone at all, following all the rules all the time, and also not spending very much time on my computer. Mm-hmm. I was just mostly, like, reading books and playing with my kid and stuff. Mm-hmm. But then I've been recovering and not feeling well. And I have been using my phone a little bit more in times where it's like I need to do something requiring like the internet or whatever, and I just don't feel like getting up and going to get my computer.
Yeah.
So I have been like a little bit falling by the wayside, but I've not gone on Reddit on my phone. I have gone on Reddit on the computer, very little bit. But like I have been using my computer more often in this past week. I've just like, I just haven't, my brain is just not, like I just haven't wanted to read very much.
You had surgery. It's fine.
I know, but like physically, abdominally, I feel pretty much fine. I feel still kind of like weak and tired, and my throat is still all sorts of messed up. But like today I could have been, and I did read some, but I could have been like up doing more things, like getting stuff done. But I didn't. I just like sat on the couch all morning and like watched YouTube videos. And
Totally
stuff.
fine. Our kid is at her grandparents.
She
by the
is,
way.
yes. Yeah, our kid is not here right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I really want to like in the coming days get back on track with the phone thing, because I've like...
Well, I've got footage of you, which when this goes in the final video, this talk will be in succession of that footage, where it was very transformative for you.
Oh, yeah. It was. It absolutely had been. And like... well, and I think that some of that footage was like from the day before I had surgery, and just that this whole process has really thrown a whole wrench in like my whole body and brain. So I'm just tired, but I hope to be feeling better soon and like back to that sort of magical no phone.
Yeah. Why did you like it so much?
It just felt like everything just felt better. And like all the experiences of day-to-day life just felt more clear, and I just felt more present. And like I was able to focus more deeply on one thing for a longer period of time and not feel like I needed to check something else or do something else or bop to this other thing. Yeah, I want to get that back.
That's exactly how I feel. Like it was nice when I'd often find myself standing around in the house and be like, why do I feel, what is this feeling? Is this boredom? Like I don't feel like, I'm standing here and I don't have anything to do. Like I have this little bit of free time here. Ada's watching something or playing with you. And I'm like, what am I doing? And they're like, oh yeah, I would be looking at my phone right now, but I'm not. And then I would just have thoughts, complete long thoughts about one thing. And it just felt nice.
There were times too when I was like finding myself in a moment like that where I didn't have anything pressing that needed to be done or attended to or whatever. And I was just like sitting and like really deeply enjoying just sitting and like looking around at the house or like looking out the window or whatever, and like just fully invested in the experience of just existing in that moment and not doing anything. And that's something that I hadn't felt in a very, very, very long time.
Yeah.
I mean, like a decade.
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's real good.
It's very good.
This is another thing that I hope to continue past this month.
Yeah, I think these last these 3 challenges we've been doing, different than what we did before. Well, they're the same. These are challenges we've done before, but we're just doing them in a more sustainable way.
That's the thing. Like before, the last time we did this, it was like no internet.
Yeah.
Like we weren't allowed to watch TV. We weren't allowed to do anything, which is not sustainable.
No.
But
it was also great. I also enjoyed it, but it was, of course, not something I was going to do forever.
Right. But now I think we're realizing like these issues are still like pervasive in our lives and like affecting the quality of our lives, and we need to focus. If we're going to challenge ourselves to do something, let's do it in a way where we might be able to hold on to it in the long term, hopefully, and like make an actual permanent change to the structure of our routine daily lives.
I don't plan on putting Twitter back on my phone, but I've gone in phases of that before where I just didn't put Twitter on my phone. Then I started using the browser to go to Twitter. Yeah. But this time, I really don't think, I don't miss it at all. Nothing feels that different. It doesn't even feel that challenging because I go to my computer to go to it. Mm-hmm. If I start going to my computer to just more often to just go to Twitter or something, then that'll be a problem.
Right.
Then I'll be like, well, it would have been easier and I would have saved time if I just used my phone, and then I'd download it on my phone, and then that's how the process would start.
Mm-hmm. Don't put it back on your phone.
Yeah, don't put it back on my phone, but then also rein in the going to the computer to go on it.
Yeah. Yeah, just less Twitter overall is probably a pretty good idea.
Yeah, I don't feel like I'm missing anything because I still go to it.
Yeah. I had also sort of in the first 6 days or whatever the challenge, or 10 days or whatever, when I had not been on Reddit at all, not even on my computer, I had gotten to a point where at the beginning I kind of had this FOMO, what's going on in the subreddits that I follow and everything. And then by a week and a half or so in, or weekend, I just didn't really care anymore. Mm-hmm. And then of course now I've been back a little bit. I've only checked 2 subreddits though, which is the one for where we live, mm-hmm. and then the community. I made a post in the community about the surgery that I had, just kind of sharing my experience, especially with my throat, as a warning to other people. But that's all I've done, and I don't really have that that FOMO about missing stories on Reddit or whatever anymore.
I sometimes I think is the news slowed down, or am I just not paying attention to it? And then I think it actually is it's been slower lately.
Oh yeah.
But also I'm probably just missing things that doesn't matter if I miss them or not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like if anything, if there's anything that was a really big deal, it would get to me some other way.
Yeah. That's about it for that, I think. I think we can sustain that too.
Yeah. I hope so.
Yeah. Stupid smartphones.
I hate them. I don't even know where mine is. Oh, it's right here.
Mine's right here.
Okay.
I still use it I got a workout app on there that I'm going to use right after this, and I still use it for that too, because I have to for that.
Yeah. You just get your personal trainer Nate to come here and live with us.
Okay. Yeah, that seems.
Ask him to move in with you.
It seems like that's a better life than just using my smartphone a little bit too much.
Yeah, I mean it's the natural progression of your relationship.
Okay, you're of a personal trainer relationship?
Yeah, you two have really hit it off, and I think that you should take the plunge.
Take the next step?
Yeah, I think you should ask him to move in with you.
This is big. I'm kind of excited. Okay. Thank you for talking with me.
It's so nice to finally meet you.
Yeah, it's nice to meet you.
So nice to meet you.
Anything you would like to promote?
I am tired.
Subscribe to WheezyWaiter.
Oh, subscribe or whatever.
At WheezyWaiter on Twitter.
And don't go on Twitter.
No, at WheezyWaiter on Twitter.
Yeah, never go to Twitter.
I still go there.
Never go there.
Okay.
It's a good idea to stay away from it.
I just put up a newsletter too. I do a newsletter every Tuesday. Tues Better newsletter. But don't find it on Twitter. I'm gonna go to sleep. Okay. Let me know when you're done shaking my hand. Okay. Done. Okay. Still gonna go to sleep. Okay. Good night. Good night. I can't sleep. I got too much sleep last night.